Okay, this is a quick video to introduce the new way of the openMSX debugger. First, let me start openMSX with a little program so that we have something to connect to. There we go. Now, before I show you the new way of working, let me first show the old way. And the old way is with docking widgets. So this is the default layout. And as you can see, you have a code view here, CPU registers, flags, etc, etc. The code view is central and isn't a docking widget. The others are docking widgets, so you can take them out of the main view and have them as standalone. If you connect, then you can debug. Now, the main problem with this thing is that you have several widgets, and as you can see, taking them out of the main view is quite easy. Putting them back in doesn't always yield the wanted result. So they don't dock where you expect them to dock, the layout changes the entire time. It's pretty hard to put them in the correct place again. This one is floating but doesn't have an indication that it's floating. This is called a clip. Okay. But this definitely isn't the way we started. So, not too useful. The other possible things to use are also floating docking widgets that you can try to dock. And they can get hidden behind other windows and there is no easy way to show them again. Luckily we have this floating widget to bring them back to the top. No idea why the resizing works this way. But because of all the resizing and all the random places that the docking widgets show up when you dock them again, most people clean up the config from time to time, so they have the default layout again. Now, one of the other problems I have is that, for instance, this is the main memory viewer, which is nice, and you can link it to the register pairs, but I can't have two of them. So if I go to view, I can turn it on, I can turn it off, stack, turn it off, memory viewer, turn it off, I can turn it on again, but I can't have two, which kind of annoys me. So the new method uses a layout which kind of resembles Blender, and that one looks like this. No more floating widgets, no more docking widgets. Okay, let me explain how this works. In the hierarchy of components, at the lowest level, we have these rectangles here who have a nice combo box at the top. These are called switching items. In the switching items, this part contains all the widgets that were programmed in the old debugger. So we have our stack viewer, our memory layout, our flags, our CPU registers. And if you want to switch from one to the other, you can simply select in the drop down the widget you want to have in that switching widget. So if I want a second stack viewer, and there you go, 2 stack viewers. If I want 3 stack viewers, 3 stack viewers. If I want 2 memory viewers, 2 memory viewers. This is already better than the previous design, I think. Now, CPU registers, flags, memory layout, okay, that's good enough. One level higher than the switching widgets are the blender splitters. And as you can see, we have a blender splitter containing 3 switching widgets here. And then here we have another blender splitter which contains the smaller blender splitter and the 2 main memory views. And this big splitter is then again incorporated in another splitter with a code viewer, the splitter and a stack viewer. Since these are splitters, you can easily resize the widgets to your liking. That's step 1. And this set of splitter and switching widgets, I call it a workspace, just as Blender does. And as you can see here at the bottom, we have 4 workspaces defined already. So this is the CPU workspace. I have a workspace, a default workspace for the VDP registers. I have one for VDP tiling view. So you can have the tiles and the sprites. So if I connect, then you can look at the current registers, look at the current tiles, look at the bitmaps. There you go, the current tiles and the current sprites. And now maybe you have some special debugging needs and these defaults aren't good enough for you. Then you can create an empty workspace. There you can set whatever you want. Now in this case there is only one switching widget in this entire workspace, which can be useful for stuff like the bitmap viewer, the sprite viewer. What you probably want to do in each workspace is rearranging the switching widgets. So you have the splitters and you can arrange the size of the splitters, we've seen that already. But what you probably want to do to create your own functional layout is get rid of switching widgets and create new switching widgets. Now, as you can see, besides the splitter handlers, in the 4 corners of each switching widget you have a handler. You can close different switching widgets by grabbing a handler and dragging it to the other side. This way you will close the CPU registers and have the flags expand into the available space. There you go. And I can do the same for the main memory view. I can't go sideways. You have to stay within the same splitter, but I can go down and close that one. And now I can do the same for this one. I can close this way or I can close this way. And apparently it hangs. There are still a few bugs in this. Okay, let me restart one and get back to this view. Okay, I cut out the restarting part. So dragging to close parts of a splitter has been explained. To create new, you simply drag inwards with the handlers. So you take the handler and instead of dragging outwards onto other widgets, take the handle and you drag inwards. You can drag horizontally or vertically, and as you can see, I create a new switching widget of the same type as the one you're trying to split into two. And that's how it all works. There still is the possibility, if you want, to create standalone items. These are kind of like the undocked widgets of before, only this time you can't dock them, and they are standalone switching widgets. So as you can see, there are no handlers in the corners, no way to split this one up. But if you want a standalone bitmap viewer, for instance, you still can do it. Okay, this was a short introduction. In case there are any questions, just let me know. Have a good night. Bye.